Hello everyone, welcome to Best Recipes with Sharon. On today's episode, we're going to be making the best caramel apples. They're easy and most delicious. And it's a great idea for Thanksgiving. And I think the best apple to use is the fresh Macintosh. Start by washing the apples. And make sure that you have really fresh apples that have no scrapes or bruises on them. So I go into the grocery store and I buy them by the pound, and I handpick which ones I want for this. Then I use a paper towel and I dry them off really well. And it's important to have them dry so that your caramel will stick to it. But next you need to put popsicle sticks in the center of each of the apples. And insert those sticks about halfway into the apple. Then use a good quality caramel. I use Kraft caramels, and I use about 2.5 packages. And peel each of the caramels and place them into a medium-sized bowl. Now it's time to melt them, and I do that in the microwave. So place the microwave heat on high and start with 1 minute. Take them out and stir it a little bit. Place it back in the microwave and put it in there for another minute. And this will come out looking something like this. Not completely melted, but well on its way. And you'll take a large spoon and stir that until it is completely melted and creamy. This is looking so good. Now, in order to make it more of a dipping consistency, I add 2.5 tablespoons of milk and stir that in until it's well combined. Now, it will take a little while just stirring it until it mixes in well. But just be patient and stir it in. You need to work quickly at this point because when you start to dip your apples, you have to be very quick or it starts to cool off too fast. And you want to make sure that it doesn't start to set until after you've got it on your apple. Then you take each apple, dip it in the bowl individually, and use your spoon to coat it well with the caramel. And as you go on doing each apple, by the time you get to the last one, the spoon is really important because you will need that in order to basically paint your caramel onto the apple at the end. But you'll see what I mean as we go along here. And as you can see, the apple's coated kind of nicely, so you can scrape off any excess with your spoon, and you'll have some parchment paper on a cookie sheet so that you can just place it right directly on that parchment paper. That makes it easier for you to remove the candied apples once they're set. And like I said, you need to work kind of quickly, so you continue to get each apple coated and get them over onto the parchment paper. And now just something to note also, always start with your apples at room temperature. If they're cold, then your caramel will set too quickly on the outside. And these ones were at room temperature, but we're down to the last couple, and you can see here how it's starting to thicken up already. But that's okay, you can just paint it on with your spoon and it still works out just fine. The last one may not be quite as smooth as the rest, but it still tastes just the same. So the recipe amounts that I gave you should make enough for about 6 medium apples. And you can see how fresh and crisp these apples are. And I like these just with the caramel on the outside. But if you wanted to, you could dip them in coconut, chocolate, or crushed pecans. Note as the apples are setting, the caramel will run down over the apple and smooth out, and then there'll be a little pool of caramel at the bottom, which makes the caramel apples absolutely delightful. It's soft, chewy caramel in every bite of apple. This is so worth doing, guys. Go ahead and do it, and happy Thanksgiving. And until next time, it will definitely be happy eating.